You know, this is a pretty straightforward movie. There's nothing about it that's really suspicious or fishy. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about a brand new Disney Plus release, Luca. Before I begin, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this movie were, if you already saw it or if you were planning on seeing it, and make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my channel out there. And if you're new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's jump right into it and let's talk about Luca. This stars Jacob Tremblay as the voice of Luca, a young boy who experiences an unforgettable seaside summer on the Italian Riviera, filled with gelato, pasta, and endless scooter rides. Luca shares these adventures with his newfound best friend Alberto, voiced by Jack Dylan Grazer, but all the fun is threatened by a deeply held secret. He is a sea monster from another world, just below the ocean's surface. This is directed by Enrico Casarosa, who also directed the short La Luna for Pixar, but this is his first feature film in the director's chair, and it's Pixar's 24th film overall. And like last year's Soul, this was released straight to Disney Plus due to the pandemic. Which is a shame, considering now we're starting to get bigger films returning to theaters only, or at the very least are playing simultaneously in both theaters and on streaming. And Disney did that with Raya and the Last Dragon and Cruella this year, but for some reason opted to send this straight to Disney Plus. Now, since I've been busier in the last week or so, I was glad I did get to see this from the comfort of my own home, but it's still a shame that the option to release this in theaters wasn't there, because it's a movie that would benefit from the theater experience. Like nearly all of Pixar's films, it is absolutely gorgeous to look at. The animation here is top-notch as always, with the character designs looking like more polished versions of Aardman animation characters, while the shots of the Italian Riviera are absolutely beautiful and bursting with color. We get these nicely done transformation scenes, as well as these brief dream sequences, which will get into this almost surreal territory. And it's all great, and it's just another shining example of how far along Pixar's animation has come. Now, while Pixar is not shy from exploring darker themes such as death, the afterlife, and existentialism, especially seen in films like Coco and last year's Soul, that is not what we get here, as this is by far the most lighthearted of Pixar's entries in quite some time. It's been compared to a Hayao Miyazaki film, with Luca's wide-eyed sense of wonder for the surface world being similar to the wonder of protagonists in a lot of Miyazaki's films, and there even is an explicit reference to him with the town this is set in being called Portorosso, which is a nod to Miyazaki's Porco Rosso. And like his films, this isn't heavy by any means. While there is an antagonist, which is this bully at the Riviera named Cole, there isn't a good versus evil plot that drives the whole film. Instead, a lot of the conflict stems from issues between family and friends, and there's more of an emphasis on the themes of acceptance and being true to yourself. With this being set in a town that hunts sea monsters, Luca and Alberto have to mask who they are, as they know they'll be immediately shunned if anyone were to discover them. And it's also a reason why Luca's parents, voiced by Maya Rudolph and Jim Gaffigan, forbid Luca from going there in the first place. On top of that, you also have a human girl that they meet named Julia, voiced by newcomer Emma Bergman, who visits for the summer to stay with her dad and is often ridiculed anytime she's in town, so she always talks about how underdogs need to stick together. And I thought that the way the film handled these themes was nice and sweet, especially as it explored the dynamic among Luca, Alberto, and Julia. One of the other great things about this film is that it has really likable, sympathetic characters. Going hand in hand with the film's themes of acceptance, it also explores figuring yourself out. And that leads to some really nice moments, but also a bit of tension among the main characters. You have Luca, who gets bored with his daily routine and wants to get out there and explore new things, which causes him to get even closer to Julia, who's also that way. But Alberto still wants to keep barriers between himself and the human characters, and he knows he wants to just stay where he is, which causes him to get jealous of Luca and Julia. And that's something I'm sure we've all encountered before with others, where maybe we're headed down one path in life, but someone else who we were close with doesn't want to go down that same path, and it does lead to some tension, and that can sometimes be the cause of people drifting apart. So I found this to be a very relatable plight, and because of these characters with such distinct personalities, some of whom were very funny and whom we can form a connection with, I was able to have a very good time with this. Now, as for criticisms, I actually don't have that many. I just say that the main thing here is that because of how lighthearted and easygoing it is, it does only go so far in terms of emotional impact. Now, don't get me wrong, it still goes pretty far for what it is, but Even with its themes of acceptance at the forefront, this isn't a film that's exactly thought-provoking or complex. While Pixar is known for taking these unique concepts and subverting them or using them to tackle deeper themes, this acts more as this breezy slice-of-life sort of film. While the material was there to venture into that territory that Pixar is known for, instead it sometimes relies on tropes we've seen a number of times in other films, most notably the fish out of water storyline, which is taken quite literally here. And while Pixar is also known for taking some of the smallest settings and making them feel grand and epic in scale, most of the action is restricted to a small part of the town in Porto Rosso, as well as Luca's own home in the ocean, and that epic feel just isn't there. So even though Luca himself is someone who's looking to explore new territory, the film itself isn't exactly looking to do the same. So I'd call the film emotional, but not ambitious. Like, without getting into spoiler territory, once we get to the finale, which I thought was very good in general, I did see that there was an opening a couple of times where the film could have really taken a step further with exploring all of its themes. But instead, it opts to wrap things up somewhat quickly and keep things scaled back. So, while I still like the ending and the film as a whole, I was a tad disappointed that it didn't go quite as far as Pixar's other films did. Though one thing I wanted to say is that because of this, I have been seeing a lot of talk going around calling this one of the lesser Pixar films, as if it's now bad or mediocre. And I mean, if you genuinely didn't like the movie on its own merits, then I'm not here to say that you're wrong or anything. Obviously, it's all subjective at the end of the day. All I'm saying is, I know that we all have very high standards for Pixar's films, especially due to just how incredible they can be when they do hit a home run, but a distinction still needs to be made between when Pixar has a movie that's bad or mediocre, and when Pixar has a very good movie that's simply not on the same level as their top tier stuff. It should not be one extreme or the other. Just because it's not the greatest of all time does not automatically mean it's a lesser film. I know it's always disappointing when you have a movie by your favorite film company or your favorite director or whatever, and you still like it, but it's not another new classic. But that doesn't automatically mean it's bad or anything. And I hope that's not going to be the case with every new Pixar film moving forward, because sometimes it feels like it's moving in that direction. Because personally, while I don't think this is a new Pixar masterpiece, it's by no means a bad movie. Luca is simply just a nice time, which is both its best and worst quality. With its coming-of-age, slice-of-life feel and themes about friendship and acceptance, it's a good film to have on for an easy watch, especially as something to watch with the whole family. It once again has beautiful animation, a lot of laughs, and memorable characters who make this engaging from start to finish. The only thing is, you need to temper your expectations just a bit, as this doesn't go nearly as far or as deep as a lot of Pixar's other films do. And while you'll still find these characters relatable, the story just isn't as thought-provoking. However, that does not mean it's a bad movie. In fact, it's actually a very good movie as far as I'm concerned, and I had a lot of fun with it. So, if you haven't seen this yet, definitely give it a shot because it is very good. Luca gets an 8 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Luca, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you find it to be one of the better, or one of the worst Pixar films? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it. And for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.